Have you stepped into retirement expecting peace, only to find a new and unfamiliar anxiety? If this long-awaited freedom feels more like a void, understand that this response is not only real, but remarkably common. This feeling of being adrift after decades of structure is a significant psychological shift. Today, we will explore why this happens and provide a clear, medically grounded path forward to help you find purpose and joy in this new chapter. Understanding post-retirement anxiety. Post-retirement anxiety is a specific form of stress and worry linked directly to the transition away from a lifelong career. For decades, work provides a powerful structure to our lives, a schedule, a social circle, a sense of identity, and a clear purpose. The sudden removal of this framework can leave a significant vacuum, leading to feelings of unease, disorientation, and fear about the future. Let's examine the neurobiological factors at play. Your brain has spent years building and reinforcing neural pathways associated with your professional life, problem solving, social interactions with colleagues, and daily routines. When this stimulus is removed, the brain can struggle to adapt, leading to a state of cognitive dissonance. Research from institutions has shown that retirement can be a critical period for cognitive health. Without the regular mental engagement that a career demands, there can be a risk of cognitive decline, which itself can be a source of anxiety. Hormonally, the change is also significant. A career often provides consistent, small rewards that trigger the release of dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and motivation. Completing a project, receiving praise, or simply solving a daily problem all contribute to this chemical balance. Similarly, daily interactions with coworkers foster the release of oxytocin, which promotes social bonding and reduces stress. The abrupt cessation of these daily chemical rewards can lead to a neurochemical deficit, contributing to low mood and heightened anxiety. Statistics highlight the prevalence of this issue. Some studies suggest that the likelihood of experiencing clinical depression can increase by as much as 40% following retirement. Data from national health surveys often indicates that a significant portion of retirees, sometimes nearly 1 in 3, report feelings of depression or anxiety, a rate often higher than that of the general working age population. This clearly demonstrates that if you are feeling this way, you are far from alone. It is also crucial to address common myths that can create unrealistic expectations and worsen anxiety. Myth: retirement is a permanent vacation. While leisure time increases, a life devoid of structure and purpose can quickly lead to boredom and a sense of aimlessness, which are fertile grounds for anxiety. The novelty of a vacation wears off, but the need for meaning is a fundamental human drive. Myth: your financial worries will disappear. While work-related expenses cease, new financial pressures can emerge. Healthcare costs often rise, and new hobbies or travel can be expensive. Financial uncertainty is one of the most significant drivers of anxiety in retirees. Myth: you are too old to contribute meaningfully. This is perhaps the most damaging myth. Your accumulated wisdom and experience are invaluable assets. Many retirees find immense purpose in volunteering, mentoring, consulting, or even starting a new business venture that was impossible during their primary career. Myth: your identity was your job title. While your career was a large part of your identity, it is not the entirety of who you are. Retirement is an opportunity to rediscover and cultivate other facets of your personality as a partner, a grandparent, a mentor, a creator, an explorer, or a community leader. Actionable solutions and strategies. Understanding the why is the first step. Now we will focus on the how, the practical, evidence-based strategies you can use to manage anxiety and build a fulfilling life. 7 techniques to manage post-retirement anxiety. Here are 7 robust techniques grounded in psychological and medical science to help you navigate this transition. 1. Cognitive restructuring, rewriting your internal narrative. What it is. Cognitive restructuring is a foundational technique of cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT. It is the process of identifying, questioning, and modifying the unhelpful, anxious thoughts that dominate your mindset. The scientific principle. This technique is effective because it operates on the principle that our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors are interconnected. Anxious feelings are often preceded by negative, automatic thoughts. By intervening at the thought level, you can disrupt this cycle and alter your emotional response. A step-by-step guide. Become the observer. Start by paying close attention to your thoughts when you feel a surge of anxiety. What just went through your mind? Write it down. This is your hot thought. An example might be, without my job, I have no value. Gather the evidence. Treat this thought like a hypothesis, not a fact. Ask yourself critical questions. What is the evidence that this thought is 100% true? What is the evidence against it? Have I contributed value in non-work ways in the past? What skills and knowledge do I still possess? Formulate a balanced response. Based on your evidence, create a more realistic and compassionate thought. For instance, my professional career was one way I provided value, but my worth as a person is not defined by my employment. I now have the time and wisdom to contribute in new ways to my family, my community, and myself. Why it works. This structured process trains your brain to move away from rigid, negative thinking patterns toward a more flexible and realistic perspective. It reduces the emotional power of anxious thoughts and fosters a sense of personal agency. Tips for beginners. Keep a small notebook with you. For the first week, simply practice identifying and writing down your anxious thoughts without judgment. The act of externalizing them is the first step to gaining control. 2. Behavioral activation, scheduling for well-being. What it is. Behavioral activation is a therapeutic approach that combats anxiety and depression by systematically increasing your engagement in positive, rewarding activities. The core principle is that action precedes motivation. The scientific principle, anxiety and depression lead to avoidance and withdrawal, which creates a negative feedback loop. The less you do, the worse you feel, and the less you want to do. Behavioral activation reverses this by creating an upward spiral of positive reinforcement. Engaging in activities that provide pleasure or a sense of mastery increases dopamine and serotonin, improving mood. A step-by-step guide. Create an activity menu. Brainstorm a list of activities, both large and small. Divide them into 2 categories. Activities for pleasure, e.g., listening to music, walking in nature, meeting a friend for coffee, and activities for mastery, e.g., organizing a closet, learning a new recipe, fixing a leaky faucet. Schedule like an appointment. Take out a weekly calendar and schedule these activities. Be specific. Instead of go for a walk, write walk at the park for 20 minutes at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Treat these appointments with the same seriousness as a doctor's visit. Rate your mood. Before and after each scheduled activity, rate your mood on a simple scale of 1 to 10. You will often notice a significant improvement, which reinforces the behavior. Why it works. This technique provides structure and predictability to your days, directly replacing the routine that your job once provided. It proves to your brain that engaging with the world improves your emotional state, which systematically reduces the desire to withdraw. Tips for beginners. Start with very low-effort activities. The goal is to build momentum. Scheduling just one 10-minute activity per day is a perfect starting point. 3. Mindfulness and grounding. Anchoring in the present. What it is. Mindfulness is the practice of maintaining a non-judgmental state of heightened or complete awareness of one's thoughts, emotions, or experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. Grounding techniques are specific exercises that help you reconnect with the present when you feel overwhelmed. The scientific principle, anxiety is almost always future-oriented. Mindfulness and grounding activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive function, and calm the amygdala, the brain's fear center. These practices also stimulate the vagus nerve, which activates the parasympathetic nervous system, leading to a lower heart rate, slower breathing, and a state of calm. Detailed exercise, the 5-4-3-2-1 grounding technique. This is a simple yet powerful technique to use when you feel a wave of anxiety. Acknowledge 5 things you can see. Look around you and name 5 things you see. A book, a spot on the ceiling, a crack in the pavement. Notice details about them. Acknowledge 4 things you can touch. Bring your awareness to the physical sensations, the feeling of your feet on the floor, the texture of your clothing, the smooth surface of a table. Acknowledge 3 things you can hear. Listen carefully for 3 distinct sounds: the hum of a refrigerator, birds chirping outside, the sound of your own breathing. Acknowledge 2 things you can smell. What scents are in the air? The smell of coffee, soap, or the fresh scent after rain? If you can't smell anything, imagine 2 of your favorite smells. Acknowledge 1 thing you can taste. What is the taste inside your mouth? You can take a sip of water or simply notice the lingering taste of your last meal. Why it works. This technique forces your brain to focus on the present moment through your senses, pulling you out of the anxious thought loop about the future. It is a powerful circuit breaker for panic and overwhelming worry. Tips for beginners. Practice this technique even when you are not anxious. This will make it easier to recall and use when you are in a state of distress. 4. Finding renewed purpose, redefining contribution. What it is. This is the conscious and deliberate exploration of activities and roles that provide a sense of meaning, value, and identity outside of a professional context. The scientific principle: a strong sense of purpose is a well-documented predictor of psychological well-being, cognitive health, and even longevity in older adults. Purpose provides a motivational framework for life, guiding decisions and providing a reason to engage with the world. A step-by-step guide. Conduct a values inventory. What has always been most important to you? Helping others? Creativity? Learning? Family? Write down your top 5 core values. Brainstorm aligned activities. For each value, brainstorm activities that honor it. If you value helping others, you could volunteer at a hospital, mentor a young person, or care for your grandchildren. If you value creativity, you could join a painting class, learn a musical instrument, or take up woodworking. Experiment with low commitment. You do not need to find your one grand purpose immediately. Try different things. Volunteer for a single event. Sign up for a 1-month class. The goal is exploration, not immediate commitment. Why it works. Purpose fills the psychological void left by a career. It shifts your identity from what I did to who I am and what I contribute. This provides a stable foundation for self-esteem that is not dependent on external validation from a job. Tips for beginners. Talk to other retirees about what they have found fulfilling. Their stories can provide inspiration and ideas you may not have considered. 5. Cultivating a strong social network. The immunity of connection. What it is. The proactive effort to maintain and build supportive social relationships to combat the isolation that can accompany retirement. The scientific principle: humans are fundamentally social creatures. Social interaction reduces levels of the stress hormone cortisol and releases oxytocin, which promotes feelings of trust and well-being. Strong social ties are one of the most robust protective factors against both mental and physical decline in later life. A step-by-step guide. Audit your network. Make a list of your current social connections, family, close friends, former colleagues, neighbors. Who do you want to connect with more deeply? Be the initiator. Do not wait for others to reach out. Schedule a weekly phone call with a friend, propose a standing monthly lunch with former colleagues, or invite a neighbor over for coffee. Branch out. Actively seek out new social groups. This could be a local hiking club, a church or community group, a book club, or a volunteer organization. Shared interests are the easiest foundation for new friendships. Why it works. A strong social network provides a sense of belonging, an emotional support system, and opportunities for enjoyable engagement. It directly counters the loneliness that can be a major trigger for anxiety and depression in retirement. Tips for beginners. Find a third place, a location that is not your home, or a commercial establishment where people gather. This could be a library, a community center, or a park. Simply being around other people can reduce feelings of isolation. 6. Prioritizing physical health. The mind-body axis. What it is. A dedicated focus on the 3 pillars of physical health, exercise, nutrition, and sleep as a primary strategy for managing mental health. The scientific principle: the mind and body are not separate entities. Regular physical activity produces endorphins and endocannabinoids, which are natural mood elevators and anxiety reducers. A balanced diet provides the necessary nutrients for optimal brain function, while sufficient sleep is critical for emotional regulation and cognitive processing. A step-by-step guide: movement. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. This can be broken down into 30-minute walks 5 days a week. Activities like swimming, tai chi, and yoga are excellent for both physical and mental health. Nutrition. Focus on a diet rich in fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, and complex carbohydrates. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fish like salmon, are particularly beneficial for brain health. We will cover this in more detail shortly. Sleep. Establish a consistent sleep schedule. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. Avoid screens before bed, and ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. Why it works. Caring for your physical body is a direct and powerful way to regulate your nervous system and brain chemistry. It provides a sense of control and accomplishment, and the benefits to your mood and anxiety levels are profound. Tips for beginners. Start by focusing on just one area. For example, commit to a 15-minute walk every morning. Once that becomes a habit, you can begin to make small changes to your diet. 7. Engaging in lifelong learning, maintaining cognitive vitality. What it is: the practice of intentionally challenging your brain by learning new skills and acquiring new knowledge. The scientific principle: learning creates new neural connections and strengthens existing ones, a phenomenon known as neuroplasticity. This process enhances cognitive reserve, which is the brain's ability to withstand age-related changes and damage. It is the mental equivalent of cross-training for your muscles. A step-by-step guide. Explore formal learning. Many universities and community colleges offer free or discounted courses for seniors. Online platforms offer thousands of courses on every imaginable subject. Learn a practical skill. This could be learning to play the guitar, becoming proficient in a new software, or taking a course in landscape gardening. Engage in brain games. While not a substitute for deep learning, activities like crossword puzzles, Sudoku, and chess can help maintain mental acuity and focus. Why it works. Lifelong learning provides intellectual stimulation that can be profoundly satisfying. It offers a sense of progress and mastery, which builds self-esteem and directly counters feelings of stagnation or irrelevance that can fuel anxiety. Tips for beginners. Choose a topic you are genuinely curious about. The learning process should be enjoyable, not a chore. Visiting your local library is a fantastic first step. Nutrition and its role in anxiety management. What you eat can have a direct and significant impact on your mood and anxiety levels. Think of it as providing your brain with the right fuel. Foods to incorporate: complex carbohydrates. Foods like oatmeal, quinoa, and whole grain bread help promote the production of serotonin, a neurotransmitter that has a calming effect. Omega-3 fatty acids, found in fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, walnuts, and flax seeds. These fats are crucial components of brain cell membranes and have strong anti-inflammatory properties that can help reduce anxiety. Magnesium-rich foods. Magnesium plays a vital role in regulating the body's stress response system. Excellent sources include leafy greens like spinach, almonds, avocados, and dark chocolate. Probiotic-rich foods. The gut is often called the second brain. A healthy gut microbiome can influence your mood. Incorporate foods like yogurt, kefir, and sauerkraut. Foods and substances to limit. Caffeine. As a stimulant, caffeine can trigger the fight-or-flight response and can mimic or worsen the symptoms of anxiety, such as a racing heart and jitteriness. Refined sugars and processed foods. These can cause rapid spikes and crashes in blood sugar, leading to irritability, mood swings, and anxiety. Alcohol. While it may seem to calm nerves initially, alcohol is a depressant that can disrupt sleep and worsen anxiety in the long run. Information on professional treatment and medication. While self-help strategies are powerful, there are times when professional support is necessary and is a sign of strength. Therapeutic approaches, cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, this is often considered the gold standard for anxiety. It is a structured, goal-oriented therapy that focuses on teaching you the practical skills of cognitive restructuring and behavioral activation. Psychotherapy, also known as talk therapy, this can provide a safe and supportive space to explore the underlying emotions and fears related to retirement, aging, and life changes. Group therapy, joining a therapy group for retirees can be incredibly beneficial. It provides a sense of community and allows you to share experiences and coping strategies with peers who truly understand what you are going through. Medication overview. This information is purely educational. All decisions about medication must be made in consultation with a qualified medical doctor. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, often used as a first-line treatment, these medications work by increasing the level of serotonin in the brain. Serotonin norepinephrine reuptake inhibitors, SNRIs. These work on both serotonin and norepinephrine and can also be very effective for anxiety. Other anxiolytics, medications like buspirone may be prescribed specifically for anxiety. It is important to discuss all potential side effects and benefits with your physician, as medication can affect older adults differently. Precautions and potential dangers of unaddressed anxiety. It is critical to take post-retirement anxiety seriously. If left unmanaged, it can lead to significant long-term consequences. Increased risk of chronic disease. Chronic stress and anxiety contribute to inflammation and can increase the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and other serious health conditions. Cognitive decline. Prolonged anxiety and the social isolation that often results from it are significant risk factors for accelerated cognitive decline and dementia. Strained relationships. Anxiety can make a person irritable, withdrawn, and difficult to be around, which can put immense strain on marriages, friendships, and family relationships. Reduced quality of life. Most importantly, unmanaged anxiety robs you of the joy, peace, and fulfillment that you have worked your entire life to enjoy. Preventative measures include planning for retirement, not just financially, but emotionally and socially. Start exploring hobbies and social connections before you leave the workforce. How to make these strategies a sustainable habit. Integrating these techniques into your life for the long term is what creates lasting change. Start small and build momentum. Do not try to implement all 7 techniques at once. Choose one, such as a daily 10-minute walk, and practice it until it becomes automatic before adding another. Anchor to existing routines. Link a new habit to an established one. For example, practice 3 minutes of mindful breathing immediately after you brush your teeth in the morning. Track your progress. Keep a simple journal. Note down the positive activities you engaged in and how they made you feel. This provides tangible evidence of your progress and acts as a powerful motivator. Practice self-compassion. There will be days when you feel unmotivated or slip back into old patterns. This is normal. The key is not to judge yourself, but to gently guide yourself back to your new, healthier routines the next day. Progress is not linear. Conclusion. Retirement is one of life's most significant transitions. It is natural and understandable that this period of profound change can be accompanied by anxiety. The crucial takeaway is that these feelings do not have to define your retirement years. By understanding the psychological and biological shifts at play, and by actively implementing evidence-based strategies such as cognitive restructuring, behavioral activation, mindfulness, and prioritizing your physical and social health, you can navigate this transition successfully. This new chapter is an opportunity to redefine your identity, discover new passions, and build a life rich with purpose, connection, and joy. The power to shape this next stage of your life is in your hands. Disclaimer: this video is for educational and informational purposes only. The information we're sharing is designed to support, not replace, the relationship that exists between you and your healthcare provider. Final appeal. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like. It really helps our channel reach more people who might need this information. And for more doctor-approved wellness tips, make sure you subscribe to Mental Wellness Insight. We'd love to hear from you in the comments. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.